Today we're gonna make Guinness lamb Irish stew for St. Patrick's Day, but we're gonna take it even further. We are gonna turn it into a pot pie. We're gonna make a patty pie. Are you ready? I am ready. I am cooking up a dish for a collaboration that I am a part of with Rich over at Just Cook the Damn Food. It's hashtag St. Patty's Food. We are taking a traditional St. Patrick's Day dish, but you know what? I'm gonna turn it into something different. I'm gonna elevate it a little bit more. So let's just get cooking and stop all this yammering. As you can see, so not only have I been dealing with pneumonia and cracked ribs, I also am dealing with a new burner. My induction burner decided to blow up. So I had to bring out my old standby. Still works. Gonna add some oil to our pan. You want to give it a nice coating to keep our lamb from sticking, because that's what we're making this dish with. This is a traditional Guinness Irish stew. Got my lamb meat. Now, I cut this lamb meat up pretty small into pretty tiny little pieces. If you just want to eat it as stew, certainly leave your chunks bigger. That's okay. While that is heating up, I can let you know that as part of this collaboration, there's going to be a link in the description below to some other great channels that are involved in this. Let's get that lamb a-cooking. I'm going to spread that out just so that all the surface is covered. What we're going to do here is we're going to let this cook off and sear up a bit and kind of render out some of that fat. But while that's working, we can get the rest of our ingredients ready to go. I am opting to use Little Reds and little fingerling potatoes. They have been washed, they have been dried. I like to leave the skin on, especially these little guys. I would love to see you try to peel one of these. Doesn't work very well. And again, little bite-sized pieces. We'll do one more of these. I think that's a perfect ratio. And then I've also got some carrots. Now, you can just get like a whole carrot if you want. Still same thing, just chop it up into little pieces. I just happen to have leftover carrots from another dish I made a while ago, so I had to use them up. Again, I think that's a great amount right there. And just a standard yellow onion. You could use a sweet onion if you want this to have just a little bit more of a sweet flavor. But I had a yellow onion on hand. That's what I'm using. And the fun thing with onions, when you think you have enough, give yourself just a little bit more, because they do shrink down quite a bit when you cook them. All right, let's check that meat. That is looking fantastic. So I'm going to push the meat aside just a little bit, and we are going to add our onions right into the center there. We're also going to add some garlic paste. Now, if you'd like, you can just use whole garlic cloves or minced garlic as well. And here's a little trick. We're going to add just a little bit of water just to help soften up those onions a little bit more, just a little bit. Oh, this is going to be so delicious. We're going to let this cook for about 3 to 4 minutes just to soften the onions up a bit more. While that is softening, we've got one more thing to prep to get ready. We've got a leek. I have already taken off the outer leaves and given it a good cleaning. You want to make sure and do that. We're not going to be using the green at all, but I'm going to save the green for my stock that I'll be making up later. I'm going to cut off the hard end because you don't want that. And let's see, I'm going to cut it in half first because I don't want big, huge chunks of leeks. And thin slices. Just check out our onions. Yep, those are looking great. We're going to add a little salt and pepper. And this is just to taste, so however much or little you want. Next, we're going to add in some flour. This is going to help thicken up the stock once we get that in there to make it more stew-like. Just enough to coat the meat. And you're going to want to let this cook for about 1 minute to coat the meat and to get rid of that raw flour flavor. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned, I am using, this is a lamb shoulder roast. You could use ground lamb if you wanted to as well. All right, now we're going to add in just a little bit of tomato paste. Stir that up a bit, and then we're going to add in our Guinness comes next. And this is just a Guinness stout beer. And I'm just kind of pushing along the bottom of my pan to get up any of those little niblets that kind of stick to the bottom. And we've got 2 cups of my homemade stock. It's half mushroom stock and half vegetable stock. And again, just give that a mix to get any niblets off the bottom. We're going to bring this up to a boil. Now that we've got that up to a nice gentle boil, we're going to turn it down, cap it off. Oh, sorry. We're going to put in our bay leaf. Then turn it down and let it simmer for about 30 minutes. and then we'll keep going. All right, our first 30 minutes are done, so we're gonna take our lid off, which is a little hot. Now, my husband questioned me on this, and you might have the same question. The reason why we boiled it for 30 minutes or simmered it for 30 minutes with just the meat and the onions in there is to break that meat down a bit and help tenderize it. But now we've got another 30 minutes to go, but first we're gonna go ahead and add our potatoes and our carrots. Ooh, one potato down. And that's it. Unlidded now. Unlidded, untopped, uncapped. Take the freaking lid off, leave it off, and now it's gonna go for 30 more minutes, and then we'll keep going. Another 30 minutes down. That has thickened up beautifully. Now we're gonna add in our peas. If you are using frozen peas, add them in when you add the carrots and the potatoes, and those beautiful leeks that we had. The reason you don't want to add the peas and the leeks when you add the carrots and the potatoes is because the peas will get mushy and they'll essentially just disintegrate, and then they won't be in there anymore. And same with the leeks. Leeks can kind of get a little soggy. While we're letting that simmer, let's go ahead and get these little guys ready. Look at these. They are just the cutest little pie tins, pie pans, pie, whatever you want to call them. They were adorable. And our puff pastry sheet. Now, I want to get 2 circles out of this to cover these, so I am going to roll it out just a little bit. You don't want to roll it too much because otherwise it doesn't give that nice puff that you get going. Got my fun little pizza cutter. Works great. I'm just going to go right around these. Air fryer. That's what we're going to do next, so let's go ahead and get it preheated. We're going to go 350, so I'm going to set it for 15, but I'll check it after 10. If you wanted to at this point in time, this right here is an amazing bowl of stew. Go ahead, dish it up. Serve it with a hard crusty roll, some soft bread, but this is going to take it even one step further into the land of yummy, yummy. Hashtag St. Patty's Food. That's this collaboration again with Rich from Just Cook the Damn Food. Description below will have the full recipe of everything we've done today, right next to the subscribe and the like button. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out this bay leaf because we are done with that. At this point in time as well, give it a little taste to see if you need to add some more salt and pepper. I had my husband taste it and it was perfect. Don't need to add anything else to it, but you might want a little more salt, a little more pepper. Go for it. I am using a slotted spoon just so I don't get a lot of the sauce in my little pans. And you don't want to fill it all the way to the top, only because if you do, some liquid still might leach out of the meat and the carrots and the potatoes, and it'll just overflow in your dish. Let's go ahead and top these little guys off. And I'm just going to kind of push it in just a little bit, just like that. At this point, you can either do an egg wash if you'd like, or just a standard oil works just as well, and that's what I've opted to go with today. And into the oven. I'm sorry, into the air fryer. Or oven if you've got one. I'm going to keep an eye on them. Like I said, we want them to go to a nice golden brown, so anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. I wish you could smell my house. I really do. They're done. You try to be careful, but you still get leakage, but that's okay. There it is. Hashtag St. Patty's Food. I have got a delicious bowl of just your Guinness lamb Irish stew, as is, with a nice roll on the side. And then we've got our patty pie, if you will. Little lamb stew, pot pies with a beautiful crust. Can you hear that? Oh, it's fantastic. I am going to let these sit for about 5 minutes and then I'll let you know how they taste because they're hot, like really hot. While that one's cooling off a bit, I'm going to go ahead and give this a try. Just the stew itself. Got a little carrot, little potato, little leek. I got a pea on there. Oh my gosh, that Guinness really comes through. That is fantastic. That I cannot wait now with that crust, how that's going to taste. Let's just do it. I'm going in. Oh boy, howdy. Oh, that is crispy, crunchy crust. Oh, you see that steam? It's like a jacuzzi. Oh. Oh, hot, hot. Marie Collander's got nothing on me. That is so good, but you might want to let it sit for even a little bit longer than 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, because that is really hot when you break through there. But just look at that. Look at inside there, that steam, that beautiful crust. There is nothing else I can say except Thank you so much for joining me here at Annie's Smoking Pot. Oh, by the way, I'm Annie. Hi. And this is my tiny kitchen, big flavors. But until next time, take care. Bye. Man.